hear about the wonderful trip that our students had to Washington, D.C. To be a part of this historic civic ceremony in the inaugural parade. All I can say is that I am so proud of Talladega College, and I'm so proud of our band students, the Marching Tornadoes. They represented not only the state of Alabama well, but they also represented themselves, and they represented this great nation. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience from the time that the students arrived in Washington, D.C., where they had the opportunity, actually they were greeted by Inside Edition, and they had the opportunity to visit several of the historic monuments, which was exciting for them to be a part of history and have that opportunity to see some of the monuments. Right from the start, as I indicated before, 99% of these students had never had the opportunity to not only go to Washington and witness the historic monuments of Washington, D.C., but also they had the opportunity to be a part of history in marching in this inauguration parade. I will tell you that when I mentioned before that this was truly a learning experience for our students, it truly was that. I mean, from all the media attention that they received, and then all of the security clearances that they had to go through, that was a learning experience for them. But I do want to point out, too, as we went through all the different security clearance, and in case you're wondering, I did march with the band in the parade. But to talk about the preparation, as they were in they had holding areas as they were getting ready to enter onto the parade route. That was an experience in itself. But the one part of that really touched my heart was that they indicated to all the parade participants that they could come outside the holding areas and practice. And our band came outside and they went into formation and warmed up in practice. What was heartwarming to me is to see that the other parade participants to come over and gather around in front of our students, the military bands that participated in this inaugural ceremony. They came over and gathered around our students to watch them practice, taking pictures, taking videos. Texas State University dance team they were the participant that was in front of us in the parade. That entire dance troupe was probably over 100 young ladies. They came over and got in front of our band and started dancing. I mean, that's the kind of connection that was very, very positive. And I believe that because this band got so much attention, worldwide attention, because of the concerns about the Talladega Marching Tornadoes participating in this inaugural ceremony. I said from the beginning that it was about the students, it was about the student experience, and there were many who tried to politicize this, but it was never about that. It was about providing these young people, these band students, an opportunity to be a part of history. And they are a part of history. When I look at the GoFundMe account, now it sits at over $770,000. We've left that account open, although we thank all of the donors who have contributed to that account. We thank them, and we've left that account open because these band students, they need band scholarships. And so we're going to leave that account open a little while longer. We still have checks coming in. I just received a check from a foundation from California for $10,000. I just opened the mail in my office. And the statement from this couple indicated that we thank you, Mr. President, for your courage in making the right decision to support your students. And then they also said to me, consider us a new donor and leave us on your donor list. That's the kind of pouring out that we've received from all over this country. And I'm going to tell you, from every state in this nation that we've received some type of check, or if you look at the GoFundMe account, the pouring out. So now over 14,000 individuals who have reached out to Talladega College. And so someone said in a meeting this morning that if you don't know Talladega College or know where Talladega College is located, folks know about us now. I was in the airport the other day, headed back on Monday, and I had my Talladega sweater on, and as folks read that name, Talladega College, they said, are you associated with that band that's gotten all of this national attention? And now clearly we thank the donors, we thank the O'Reilly factor for their great support in all of this, and we just thank the donors from all over the country. I had an opportunity, I was invited to the White House on Sunday, and received a great thank you for our participation in the and that was a real experience, having that opportunity to visit the White House on Sunday, and I received great praise and thank you for our participation in the inaugural parade. It's been quite a couple weeks, but it's been positive. It's ended in a positive way. You'll have opportunity to speak to our band students because they had a great time, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know how these young people felt, but when we were walking down Pennsylvania Avenue, I mean, it was a grand experience. But I also want to thank the law enforcement officers in this great nation, because as I walked along the parade route, I had law enforcement officers coming up to me and shaking my hand and saying, "Sir, thank you. Thank you for your participation, and thank you for hanging in there and giving these young people an opportunity to be a part of history, to be a part of this historic ceremony." And that was very, very positive. And then, of course, as they marched down in front of the presidential viewing stand, where all the television stations was, the bright lights, and President Trump, he looked at me as I looked up at him, and he threw his thumb up and pointed to me and said, "Thank you," and that meant a whole lot to receive that type of thank you from the President of the United States. So with that, it's been great, and we appreciate you all's great coverage. The coverage has been positive, everything's been positive, and I'm going to stop there and answer any questions, or you can ask any of our young people questions.
So I was going to ask you, how surprised were you on the amount when the GoFundMe started and where it's at now? And you kind of touched on it, but if you can, just tell us in detail what's going to be done with that money that helped get you guys.
Okay, well, as I said, I think last week, when Omarosa and I went on O'Reilly Factor, that account was about $57,000. And then, of course, she shouted it out, and Bill O'Reilly shouted it out. And within an hour after that account had shot up over $200,000, and it has kept climbing. And we're still getting donations in from O'Reilly's viewers. So it's continuing to grow, and I've just been advised that because we do need scholarship dollars and everyone knows student financial aid period in this country is very difficult. Keeping our young people in school is very difficult. So now raising scholarship dollars, and so what we've talked about, the funds will be used for new band uniforms. The funds will be used for scholarship dollars. The funds will be used for purchasing additional and new instruments for the band. There's transportation issues that we have, as well as right now there's approximately 230 young people in this marching band. and I'm going to finish in the marching band, and we remodeled our in our dining hall. It's a basement area when we started this band 4.5 years ago. Well, if you go down there now and see them practice, I mean, they're stuffed in there like sardines. And so if we're able to get this fund up over $1 million, then we'll be able to look at the construction of probably a metal frame type of facility, rehearsal hall for them. So that is my hope, you know, in addition to the use of the funds, because they do need the space. And based on what we've already heard is that calls are coming in from high schools all over the country of young people who have an interest in joining this band. This band could very well be at 400 next fall. So certainly we would need the space and more uniforms, etc.
Follow-up question for me. You guys caught a lot of, some people didn't want you guys to participate. You made decisions to participate. Talk about the positive, and you touched on it. I mean, for those people that said that you guys shouldn't participate, if they could see the positive impact that it's helping for this college.
Well, you know, first of all, we're a small school, and to receive the we could have never in a lifetime paid for the publicity that we've gotten throughout not just this nation. I mean, it's gone international, and we did get a lot of pushback, and I still have folks are still pushing back and still disagreeing with my decision, and they're entitled to that. But again, I did it for these students, for these young people. When you look at the media videos that's been produced, and I'm gonna tell you, as I look at them marching down Pennsylvania Avenue, stepping high, as they say in the band world, they made us proud. I've received responses from college presidents, they're colleagues of mine, from business men and women throughout the country, from citizens throughout this entire nation, thanking me for making that decision. And it was a tough decision because there was people pulling at me back and forth, but at the end of the day, I know that, and I've been in education 40 years this year. You know, 16 years as a college president, and I kind of know leadership, and I know what it takes to run an institution. We provided these young people with a positive learning experience, and they've now experienced it and they've lived through it, and it's just exciting for this institution because you know, our brand has gone way up, and you know, we're not the Talladega College we were 4 weeks ago, and so we've got to recognize that that it's gone up, and folks know who we are. And what I'm excited about is that they know who we are, not only as a great educational institution, but an institution, and as you all have seen some of the outstanding interviews that these young people have articulated, just stands tall for this marching band, and it speaks volume for this great student body here at Talladega College.
Did you anticipate this type of publicity when you received the invitation?
You know, not at all. You know, we had the application was made, you know, prior to you know, to the outcome of the election, and you know, these young people, I mean, they perform in parades and events, you know, all over the country, and they're always making an application or being invited to participate in various parades. They did a halftime show at the New Orleans Saints-Denver Broncos game this year. The Saints brought us down. That was great for them. They've done high school halftime shows. They did Jacksonville State right here in Alabama. You know, this started 3 years ago, that they invite us to do a halftime show, you know, once a year, and so they're used to that. They're getting ready to go and participate in about 7 parades in Mardi Gras, and I just said to someone, I said, because they'll be the lead band in the largest and the most popular parade in Endymion, and that's the parade that marches through the Superdome. And I just said to someone at lunch, when the Talladega band marches into that Superdome, and it'll be full of people, I just can't imagine the cheers and the outpouring that they're going to receive, and they don't even know that, but that's going to happen when they go into the Superdome. So, no, we didn't never in a lifetime could I have imagined that it would turn out like it's turned out.
In your visit to the White House, did you get to speak with the new president?
They had the opportunity to speak, yes, and a lot of him and some other staff, yeah.
How was that conversation?
It was, this is all positive. Just it was a conversations that I received from the White House of thank you, and because it was mixed in with some other things that were going on that day, but it was all positive. I mean, I was over there and got a chance to walk through all the way through the west and east wing, and tell you, security clearance getting in there is interesting. But it was a fun experience, and the meetings were positive.
You had mentioned in the news release that came out about your visit with President Trump that you came away with a positive feeling about HBCUs across the country. What did President Trump say
I didn't have that specific conversation with him, but from conversation with staff, I just felt very positive for the future of HBCUs. And as I've said to, you got to come to the table if you want to eat. If you stay back and not want to, come forward and work with this administration, it's not going to happen for you. And I just, I made it real clear that Talladega College wants to come to the table, wants to be at the table to talk about higher education, to talk about the future of higher education for this institution. And so I assure you that Talladega College is going to be at the table talking about working with all the different governmental agencies. As you all know, there's quite a few agencies, and so we're going to move forward over the next several months. I anticipate I'll be spending a lot of time in Washington over the next few months, bringing forth our agenda, and that's what we're going to do.
when the band usually comes to Jackson State University, I usually get video of the band during that performance, just in case they get one of the other invitations you just described, and we can do a story on it. So with that being said, being in the inauguration and getting that much attention, what do you think that will do for more invitations like the one at the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm sure that more invitations will come, and I mean, you all saw the performance. I mean, it was outstanding, and I was just excited to march right alongside them. And I anticipate that will happen. But at the same time, we've got young people that we've got to educate too, and so the classroom comes first, and first and foremost. And so if we get a million invitations, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to happen, because we got to make sure that we're educating these young people first. Classroom first, band second. That's what's important to me.
You mentioned the president's staff. Did you get to speak with the president one-on-one, or just the staff member?
Had that opportunity, yeah.
You talked with him? Talked with Mr. Trump?
I had the opportunity with him and staff, yes.
Can we talk with one of the band members?
Yeah, right.
Talk about your experience? You can go to the podium.
Yes, I
Yeah,
said,
you got-
for us, it'd be easier to get to the podium, just because of our
My name is Manasseh Sanks. I'm a sophomore here, and I'm tenor drum section leader.
Spell your first and last name for us.
Manassas, Sanks, Sanks. When I went to Washington, it was my first time. I was very enthusiastic about it. Our first stop was the Civil Rights Museum, right? The Civil War Museum, and
American Civil War Museum.
and it was we had watched a documentary. It was very interesting about it, and they was doing the museum for Michelle Obama when now that they have left office, her and Obama, and we met Omarosa in person. It was very interesting. We seen some of the monuments after the inauguration. During the parade, it was very exciting. We got to see Mr. President through the glass, and he was waving at us as we was performing, and it was just a very heartwarming experience to do that, and something that's so big go nationwide like that. It just makes you feel like I'm representing my college, my band, and myself as well.
How does it feel to be a part of history for this college and for the future of this college?
It feels pretty good because you can, 20, 30 years down the line, you can say, hey, I did this for my college. I did this for my alma mater.
How did it feel to look up there and see President Trump and Vice President Pence actually clapping their hands and waving at the band as it came by? Because we all have the video that actually cuts away and shows them doing that.
I was very surprised. I didn't, I didn't think that he knew who we were. But since we were marching there, I guess he know now. So not only does he know, the whole world knows who we are.
First visit to DC,
Yes, sir.
did you ever you'd have a chance to go and visit, I guess with the entire band and perform?
Yes, sir. We went to some of the Dr. Martin Luther King Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, Washington Monument. We went to a lot of places. Thank you.
My name is Marco Vera, Marcovera, and I play trumpet.
What year are you?
I'm a sophomore.
How do you put into words your experience
Um,
being in the inauguration parade?
it was cool being in the inauguration parade. Honestly, I didn't think that we were gonna have so much fun as to see like it's a big stage. So being able to march down Pennsylvania Avenue and getting cheered by a lot of people, makes me feel good. Made me feel happy because everyone's enjoying our performance. Because we're a band, so we like to perform for the people when we go out there. So being able to get all this attention and all this cheering made me feel proud.
Were you apprehensive when they asked you guys to perform? I mean, were you like, yeah, let's do it? Or did you have any apprehension about it?
At first, I was shocked. I didn't expect it. But when we got invited, I was for it. Honestly, I like to support the vision of our band director. And if he thought that this would be a good opportunity for us to go and be noticed, then I support that 100%.
Let's talk about the community support with the money that was raised that's going to help you guys,
Seeing all that money raised and for us to go showed us that we had a lot of support from everyone. It made me feel happy that we had people on our side, even though we had people against us. It was reassuring to know that if we go down there and we try our best, we will be, cheered on by a lot of people. It felt really good to see that not everyone was completely against us going.
Have you found since you got back that if you talk to anybody who might have had a problem with going, that your performance maybe changed their mind?
Well, since we've been back, I haven't talked to anyone personally saying that it was, bad for us to go. But I feel like if, I did meet someone, they'll probably be like seeing the results of everything. They'll probably be saying that's a good decision that we decided to go. There wouldn't be, I feel like there probably wouldn't be as much backlash as it was when it first started. And yeah, that's pretty much. Thank you.
Speak from a non-band student to get his perspective that was on the trip as well.
How you doing? My name is Antonio, Antonio. Last name Rucker, Rucker.
You're not a band member?
No, sir.
How was it?
But he was on the trip.
But you were on the trip?
Yeah,
Yes.
we took a student bus on the trip as well.
So you were part of a group of students that went to
Yes.
view the inauguration. How was that trip for you?
Well, at first I wasn't sure if I wanted to go because it stirred up a lot of emotions, negative and positively. I didn't want to be a part of it. But when I went, it wasn't until I was actually on Pennsylvania Avenue and I saw them walk by and I saw the reactions of everybody there. I was proud to say I went to Talladega College. They did a great job.
So being part of that rose above the politics that
Yeah, it made it worth it. Like to be a part of history. Even though I wasn't playing in the band, I was there taking pictures and I seen it firsthand. It's something I can share with my children.
So what do you say to those people that maybe didn't want the band to participate and, not be a part of that, and through the experience that
like I say, maybe they should be a little more open-minded, and if they was there, they would have felt it. You had to be there, I guess.
Was it because of backlash from the community or from your personal beliefs of why you didn't want to go in the first place?
I want to say like the backlash had something to do with my beliefs, but until I went, like my mind changed. Like I was telling myself, I asked myself, when would it change or would it stay the same? But when I seen them marching, my mindset changed completely.
What do you say to the people who helped make it possible for you to be there?
Say thank you, and it's greatly appreciated. Can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Sorry. With the experience, did any of y'all feel inspired to maybe further a career in government or politics, being able to witness what happened and transpired firsthand?
Well, no, not me, but I was happy I was there. I wish I could play an instrument now.
Since you've been back, what did you share with the rest of your fellow classmates or students on campus? Have you talked to them about your experience?
Well, other than history, like I feel like we're more of a family now. Like I used to just see the band playing and I appreciate their music, but now I feel like I can hold a conversation with them. I feel like we know each other a little more.
It's a connection.
Yes, sir.
Take another student.
Thank you.
How y'all doing? My name is Joseph Madison, Joseph Madison. I'm a graduating senior, French horn section leader.
As a senior, is this top the moment other than receiving your degree?
It's very close, it's very close. I had good experience. We got to sit down about an hour and a half with a lot of military personnel, veterans, active. And they told us it was an honor for us to play for them. And then immediately after we had this conversation, we really played for them, and they came out and we entertained them very well. And that was an honor. I really appreciate that experience.
Let's talk about the reception you guys came down Pennsylvania Avenue. I mean, just the roar of the crowd. As a band member, how does it make you feel when people are cheering what you guys are doing?
It made us feel good because this is a demographic that Talladega was not familiar with. We never stepped foot in D.C., nowhere near the East Coast, past North Carolina, really. So it was very good, and there was people who really were not familiar with band, and they were awed by what they seen, because we have a very distinct style of playing, and it was appreciated that day.
As you leave as a graduating senior, how excited are you for the future of this college and this band with the money that was raised to help you guys out?
That's a potential I don't think I could even speak on. I think my jaw would drop when I come in the fall and see this incoming class. And I'll be a very proud alumni. It's going to be a beautiful sight, I guarantee it.
All right, we appreciate it. That's going to draw a close to today's press conference. Now, I do know that several of the students will be available immediately afterwards, along with myself, for any additional questions. Appreciate you all for coming. Again, Greg Wilson, Talladega College.